I want to welcome you to another episode of the Rise of the 1% podcast, and I am G Bass. And on today's episode, I got a great friend of mine in the building, my guy, Mr. Rasheed Davis. Hey, absolutely, man. Glad to have you on today, man. Definitely glad to have you back. Rasheed, you've been on here before.
Yeah,
so
we had it
glad
again.
to have you back, man. How you been doing? Let's start there first.
Oh man, I've been doing pretty good. Since the last pod, I've been moving around, doing a couple of things, always about the money, working, working, making that money, man. You gotta keep working, making the money.
Yeah, Rasheed talked a lot about that in the episode we did, man. So glad to hear you still making moves. Definitely. Well, today, Rasheed, we're gonna talk a little bit more in reference to relationships and money.
Yeah.
Relationships and money.
That's one of the big topics where a lot of people talk about right now. And the biggest thing is, how do you maneuver in the relationship with money or without money? Because I hear opinions where they say, if you don't got money, you shouldn't be dating.
I've heard that.
It's like
times.
Yeah, I mean, that's like one of the biggest things.
Right.
And then you have situations where if two people have money, they might not be fit for each other because egos get involved.
Right. Okay.
Big bank take little bank someday,
Yeah. For sure. Okay. Well, let's start here first, Rasheed. Let's talk about picking a mate. When you in that boyfriend, girlfriend stage. Let's talk a little bit about that. So let's start there.
So basically picking a mate, man, technically I've just come off my anniversary. Been married for 18 years.
Oh, man, congratulations, bro.
And so, sometimes people can say the words and they just there. They're just in the relationship, just counting the years, man. But then a couple of times you got it to where they actually are married for the long haul. And then, as we're talking about this, about the money aspect,
right,
you got to be to a point where you and your mate have that understanding of money, that understanding of how money works. Because when it comes down to it, there's a lot of people that make money, spend money, but don't know how to keep money. I can go get paid on Friday,
right,
be broke on Monday. Paying the bills or, going to the club.
Right.
I have family members, man, that from one side, the older generation know how to save money. They know how to pay off their house, pay off their cars, put kids through college.
Right.
Then the younger generation, that YOLO, you only live once. So, man, I'm spending.
Yeah.
I want a new car, I go buy it. $3,000, I don't care. I make $6,000 a month, but they're not looking at the outcome. You spend $3,000 on that car, you spend $2,000 on the residency where you stay at, you spend another $1,000 on your bills. Where your party money at? So now you got to either make more money or something. So it begins a big problem.
Yeah.
So even with picking a mate, with us being men, we're looking at the women from a standpoint of, what type of woman do I want, And it's not always a point of how much money she makes. We're from men's standpoint, we're looking at the women and say, oh, that woman looks good. Man, I like her body, I like her face. It's different attributes you like about that woman.
Right.
But then when it comes down from a woman's stand of view, because social media, hear it all the time, man.
Today's time.
Hey, even back in the day, the women say no romance without finance.
Yep.
That was always the old term.
Yeah.
Now the women,
man with money.
Yeah, the women with the new term.
Right.
What's that? Take me through that all that little stuff where they be saying their little chants. Where about the money? It's all about the money.
Exactly. That's all I see on social media these days, man. I mean, even today, I looked on Facebook and Instagram, and I see certain videos going viral of women talking about all these things they demand from men financially.
Yeah.
To even get access to them. I mean, I've even heard some videos of women online talking about just to speak to me, just to have a conversation with me, you got to be talking about some money.
Hey.
Right? So, and that comes from, we talking about just in the beginning stages. We're not even talking about marriage yet.
Hey, you hit a nerve with that.
Yeah.
I seen a video where a woman said, "You can't talk to me unless you give me a cash out."
Right.
Now that's crazy.
I think I see the same.
That's crazy.
That's what I'm talking about.
She said her time is precious.
Yeah.
You know, and I actually seen a skit with that with a woman.
Yeah.
She told the man that, and the man said, "Okay." So she said, "Give me your phone." She got his phone. Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. She hit his cash out, sent herself $200. And he was like, what just happened?
Right.
And he was like, 200, girl, you slow. You know, let me give you a little more money. Give me your phone. I'm going to put my bank account in there. Oh. So he goes to put the bank account in there. He takes $600 for wasting his time. And, you know, even though it was a skit, yeah. But in reality, there are women that look at the skit and say, she right. He should give me money for wasting my time. And that's the, you know, the push, the narrative right now. You know, nobody's thinking about, man, I want a good man until they get in their, what, maybe 40s or late 30s. Yeah. Women are not looking for a good man. They looking for a cash cow. Right. They looking for suckers. Right. You know, the new term simps. Yeah, the new term simps. Yeah. So it gets down to a point, man, where the relationship aspect don't go into play until women get older. And so that's when they have that.
And I gotta say this, Rasheed, it also comes down to a little bit, and I know this is getting a little bit into another sphere, but it comes down to like the feminist movement too, in regards to a lot of women as well over these last years on this whole independent thing. I'm independent. I don't need a man. Yeah. Right. I'm focusing on my career. Yeah. In my early 20s. Right. Yeah. I don't really need a man. You know, I was just being quite frank with you. And Wemby, that's my guy as an artist, right? But he made the song independent, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like pretty much like, you know, the women is pretty much on that. I'm independent. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even necessarily need a man. I'm not going to go too much into my personal situation, but I'm just going to be quite frank with you. I never forget, in my early 20s, there was a girl that used to go to high school with us at Columbia. And I never forget, I really wanted to date her. Yeah. And at that time, we was in our early 20s. She was like, I'm independent. I don't need a man right now, right? And I took what she said. I said, okay, all right, that's fine. So I faded away. As a matter of fact, I went on and got another girlfriend. She went on and ended up having a baby out of wedlock with some guy. And then pretty much, you know, some years later wanted to be in a relationship with me. I was like, you know, remember when we was younger? You know what I mean? Like, you wanted to be independent. You see what I'm saying? And now that's what I'm saying, like I say, with a lot of the women coming up even today, they're real career focused. They feel they don't necessarily need a man and they can do their thing on their own. Hello, this is G Bass, Rise of the 1%, Rise Media. We on this Saturday evening about to get ready to knock out some podcast episodes with some individuals here in the city of Atlanta making some big moves. You can see here, look, this is how it goes down. Here when our guests come and sit down with myself, G Bass, other Rise of the 1% of Rise Media, to have that conversation, to share the story, share the journey, share what you got going on. So listen, everybody got a story, everybody got a journey, and then you got some things going on, then you definitely can get with us and see if it'll be a fit to be on the Rise of 1% podcast and actually have that discussion with myself. It's going to be a link to a form you can fill out. You said www.theriseofthe1%.com/pod-form. Again, www.theriseofthe1%.com/pod-form. It's going to be in this video. You can fill that out, and we can see if there'll be a fit for you to come on and have that conversation with myself. If you don't fill out the form, then obviously it's not for you, and that's fine. We're looking for those that's serious. Those that's serious about rising to the top 1% are already in the 1%. That's what we're looking to sit down with myself right here. As you can see, Rise Media, Rise of the 1%. This is how we get down. We have a great time and have a lot of fun doing it. So once again, if you're serious, make sure you fill out the form. We'll look over the form, see if it's a fit. If it's a fit, we'll reach out. If not, we won't reach out. We'll just continue to move forward. But with that said, this is G Bass. See you soon.